Quick update for everybody. So anyone that's been following my videos, with the exception of a few just general educational videos that I've placed out, we're getting ready to move from Arizona to Wisconsin. We're a few days out from our drive, and it's going to be a 3-day drive. It's going to be brutal on the body. The last time we did it was brutal, but there are ways to mitigate pain and suffering as much as possible. So my tools for this upcoming drive are going to be a special seat cushion that has an opening for the tailbone where it takes pressure away from the tailbone and thus takes pressure off of the spine in general. I will have a decompression lower lumbar belt that I'll be wearing, and I'll be doing a every hour for 10 to 20 minute decompression pressurized session. I'll have my ice therapy machine plugged in and ready to go for the entire drive to circulate different parts of the body. And the last tool that I'll be using this time will be my neurostimulation unit, also known as a TENS unit. I will be doing TENS unit therapy, NMES actual therapy, so neuromuscular electrostimulation. So I'll be doing electrode stimulation on my lower back, my shoulders, and my quads to prevent any type of mild atrophy that can happen from just the general sitting that long. And that'll be a very frequent session as well. And through those avenues, I should be able to create a less terrible drive. But anyone in the condition that I have or similar, whether it be joint instability, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, chronic conditions from there, or chronic pain, all of these tools are so underutilized for helping, and on Facebook, and even just when I get questions about things, I'm still surprised with how many people are suffering but not doing any of the things that they can be doing to make it better. Like, barely anyone uses neurostimulation units. Barely anyone uses ice machines regularly. And I know life gets in the way. I don't want to underestimate that. But if you want to improve your life and you're dealing with these things, these are tools that you really should be using and have in your arsenal if you want to make things better. And another big piece of the puzzle is movement. You got to make sure you're getting movement in, some form of activity. When you have chronic conditions and pain issues, movement can feel like something really hard to accomplish, but it's critical for the body's health as well. The worst thing that can happen is you start getting chronic pain, and you then let that make you sedentary, and the sedentary escalates the chronic pain, and it creates a vicious cycle of making your chronic pain worse. You got to get past that in one way or another, and it's hard, especially given anyone's conditions. I often have enough pain or instability in my knees that I feel like walking is even a problem. But what I try to do is go get on a stationary bike at very least and lightly pedal for a little while, just to get a little bit of motion in my knees and lubrication in my knees. I'll do some light circular shoulder rotations for my shoulders, some different low impact back stretches or activities. You got to do something to keep moving, but if you let your pain dictate your life and amount of movement you get, one, is going to make it worse, and two, you're not going to have a life. So bear that in mind too. But I'll keep you guys posted on how this drive goes. And as a reminder to what happens when we get to Wisconsin, I am going to be meeting with some different specialists about joint instability that I'll share my experience with you guys. Between Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois, there are some of the country's best joint instability doctors, and they're a little hard to get into. You have to meet criteria, which if you're on my channel, you probably suffer from some of this, but I certainly meet the criteria. So these people that specialize in instability and joint issues, I'm gonna have interesting talks and see what kind of solutions I'll come up with these guys. So stay tuned, follow along. I hope to be able to tell you great things after the end of this drive.